Hey everybody, it's Mike. I'm live here. Um, I'm still on the road, and I'm still so I'm trying to do this from my laptop, and not having much success with it. But some things have happened, and I wanted to uh, get this out there as quick as possible. Let everybody know what's going on. Of course, I have to give shout outs to the Scientology protesters doing such a great job, especially Audit LA and everybody, Henri and Mona, who go to the meetings, and then everybody who goes out to the buildings and does this. The live streaming all over the country, all over the world. Big shout out to all of you, doing a great job out there. And so, like I said, I'm doing this from my laptop, so I hope everything's coming through clear, loud and clear. Um, so, big shout out to all the Scientology protesters. So, keep doing it, and I'm with you all the way, like I always, like I always am. I just wish I was out there and I could be doing something uh, out there. But instead, I'm doing this, which is exposing Hare Krishna. Um, and let's see. So, this is what I've been talking about since I started doing these videos. Is how dangerous this and how dangerous and manipulative the Hare Krishna cult is. Everyone, not everyone, but I think most people who don't recognize it as a dangerous cult, which is most people, they just think it's just some religious movement or some spiritual thing, like a new age type thing or whatever. They don't realize how dangerous. It's dangerous in many levels and many ways that most people just don't recognize. So first of all, it's dangerous for your mental health, right? The people in there are mentally, I don't know what you say. Well, they're being manipulated, and they're being uh, coerced. Coerced is a weird word, but it sounds like someone like got your arm twisted behind your back, and it's not like that. It's like they have your mind twisted behind your back, almost. You know what I mean? It's like in the same way that you can be manipulated and coerced physically, uh, people are being coerced mentally, and so in that way, it's traumatic. It's traumatizing. Um, but also the philosophy and what they want to achieve is also very dangerous and very. It's not some yoga meditation type thing. It's very sinister and evil. It's like the Taliban. It is no different than the Taliban. It's no different than any really extremist religious organization that wants to control your life. And that's exactly what they are. And right now, because they can't control your life, they want to recruit. But believe me, their whole philosophy is after the nuclear war and all of that happens, they will take over. But they will take over and they will force people to be Hare Krishnas because basically, the non-Hare Krishnas out there, everybody who's not a Hare Krishna, is what's causing the problems in the world, and they want to solve the problems in the world. So that the only solution is for everybody to be a Hare Krishna, and that is the truth, and that is exactly what their books say. That's what their philosophy is. That's what their goal is, and when you dive into their philosophy, you will see that it is extremely extremist. It's identical to the Taliban, and I can't emphasize that enough. Nobody is emphasizing that. I see a lot of people that watch a lot of videos of people who have left Hare Krishnas, and they just do not talk about how these views, the philosophy, the racism, the women hating, the misogyny, the sexism, all of that. They don't touch on it because they don't see it somehow. And So there's that. So it's dangerous and harmful to an individual's mental health. It's also dangerous and harmful as a society to let this type of extremist philosophy, extremist behavior flourish and recruit. I don't even call it recruiting. It's radicalizing. They're radicalizing people to be religious extremists is what it is, and I'm gonna call it that because that's what it is. Uh, they don't want women to go to school. They think women are inferior and less intelligent. It's not on a material. I don't even want to get into their philosophy and all that stuff. But it's an extremist philosophy. It's racist. It's anti-Semitic. It's everything horrible in this world all wrapped up into one big fake yoga ball that they want to pass off as some 5,000-year-old Vedic culture, and it's not. Okay, I'm okay, but it's dangerous to people's mental health. It's very dangerous to people's mental health, and so I got to say, this one guy that I'm gonna try and play this video, which is actually just this guy talking, but you're gonna hear him talk about uh, a death, a Hare Krishna cult member who has died, and he's going to talk about it. And what I want you to know is that the blame, this person that's talking on this video, is insane. He's an insane character, but he does a good job of documenting all the crazy stuff that goes on in the cult. But he himself is a crazy cult member, and he doesn't see it. He thinks everybody is dangerous and evil in the cult, but the cult is good. He just thinks the people are bad. And he's one of them, so he doesn't even see it. He's just as evil and horrible as the people he's talking about. But I'm going to play this because he has the story of this person who has passed away. And this is recently. This just happened. And I'm going to see if I can play this and see if it's going to work. I was trying to do this yesterday, and I couldn't get it to go. But I'm going to try it again today because this is very important, and I want to get this out there. Excuse me. So I'm in another part of the country, and my allergies are really acting up. It's been it's been a great trip, but my allergies is just it's out of control. Uh, so this person that's going to tell the story is actually the same person who tried to smear me when I was leaving the cult because I caught him in a bunch of crazy stories and lies and all of these other things, and I actually had to. I didn't get a restraining order, but I threatened a restraining order on the whole organization that I was working with, the whole little group of people that I was working with, who were Hare Krishnas. And because they would not leave me alone, they were threatening me, they were just harassing me, all kinds of stuff. And they were smearing me on the internet because I was leaving the Hare Krishna. So they were trying to smear me to other Hare Krishnas, of course, and then they were trying to, I don't know what they thought they were doing, but they were trying to smear me on the internet, and so I just went to the police and I said, "Look, I'm getting death threats. I'm getting death threats. I'm getting intimidation emails, all these different things." So I filed a police report, and then I sent a copy of the police report to the head of that organization, and then it all stopped. I mean, they pretty much everything. They never mentioned my name again, and everything all mentioned to me ended. But that's who this guy is. He's crazy, and he thinks that he is somehow the smartest Hare Krishna there. He thinks he's the smartest Hare Krishna there is. No one's smarter than him, and he's got it all figured out. But anyway, he does a good job of documenting all the craziness because that's what he wants to do. Is he wants to show everybody how crazy the Hare Krishnas are. Meanwhile, he's just as crazy as what he's trying to show. But that's, hey, every now and then something happens like that, right? Where a crazy person is right. So let me see if I can get this going, because he's going to tell the story and he's going to explain very well how everything. And let me see if I get this going.
So today someone sent me the newspaper clipping death notice of a Hare Krishna child who has died at the age of only 29, a female, and they wanted me to publish the story, but I've decided not to give the name of this person because probably there's a lot of grief already going on with the other family members right now. But I do think it's important to describe why so many of these Hare Krishna children are leaving their bodies prematurely. There's definitely a problem going on here. A number of children got involved with drugs, and some of them even got involved with prostitution, and some of them were drinking, and this took a toll on their health and well-being. Now, in addition to all that, there has been a number of incidents of cancer amongst these, let's say, Hare Krishna children. So what happened? In all fairness, it is not only the Hare Krishna children who have suffered from cancer and premature deaths. There's been an epidemic of cancer and other fatal ailments amongst the adults of the Krishna religion as well. For example, the parents of this now deceased Hare Krishna kid are also deceased.
Okay, I had to stop it there for a second because first I want to just, I hope the sound is okay. I hope you can hear what he's saying. I think you can. It may be a little jumbled, but I think that might be on his end. Uh, so a grown child who grew up in the Hare Krishnas has died, and he's not giving too many details. Like he's not giving the name of this person, even though the people who notified him wanted the information out. He feels like he doesn't want to give out any information. Okay, that's fine. That's his decision, and I'm not criticizing him for that. Um, but we don't know who it is. But he's going to give out all this information, and if anybody wanted to know, they could, and especially a Hare Krishna would immediately know who this is. But he's not going to give out that information, and he's not going to give out the cause of death. But it leads me to believe that this person either committed suicide, because there's been over 25 grown children in the Hare Krishna movement who have committed suicide due to their trauma of growing up in the Hare Krishnas, or has overdosed on some kind of drugs, or uh, had some kind of medical condition related to drug use or alcoholism or something happened. 29-year-olds don't just so and that's why they wanted this story out, is because something happened, and I believe it was personally, from what I know, my history, what I know from the Hare Krishnas, it was one of two things: suicide or a drug overdose. And that's my story. I'm sticking to it. That's how I feel. Um, but also the father of this person has passed away many years ago, I guess. But listen, if you can hear, I hope you can hear what he's going to say about these people, these Hare Krishnas.
And the father of this child was a severe crack addict. So he had a big crack problem, and that led to his death for sure. The mother, I don't know if she which he was certainly a very stressed out individual, which doesn't add to your longevity at all. Now, originally, the parents of this child were initiated by Satsarup Das Goswami, the person who writes, "The more I chant, the drier it gets." And he was a big supporter of the homosexual pedophile guru program overall, which was victimizing children left, right, and center all over the place. And when me and Sulochan complained about this, Satsarup said we are poison pens, which Sulochan said is painting a bullseye on our backs to have us assassinated, and Sulochan was assassinated. So the parents of this child were involved with this whole Satsarup situation, and then they went to Los Angeles, and the father of this child became an enforcer for Rameshwara. And he later on admitted to me that he was doing a lot of dark deeds for Rameshwara, being the enforcer. And one of the things he was involved with was when they were hunting for Sulochan. He said he was part of that whole process, and it made him eventually very distraught to know part of this whole process. So,
Okay, so let me just.
You find out later on that he is a fraud, and you did a lot of.
Okay. So this child's this grown person's father, grown person's father was an enforcer. He was one of the assassins that went out to kill another Hare Krishna who was killed in L.A. He was shot and killed because he was speaking out against the Hare Krishnas. And so they put a hit out on him, and they sent some Hare Krishnas from West Virginia to Los Angeles, and they killed him. And so the father of this child, who just passed away, either to a drug overdose or a suicide, this child's father was a Hare Krishna assassin who went out to L.A. to kill another Hare Krishna. So that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about this child's father who was an assassin for the Hare Krishnas. And it sounds like, she grew up and she does she know? I would think so. He actually had problems, and he ended up taking his own life or something. I mean, this is a really weird story, but it's not that uncommon. It's not the most uncommon, wacky story that you're going to hear. It's just another story of the Hare Krishnas. It's not anything. Wow. Every story is, whoa. It's just another one. This is just another one. Let me see if I can get this going again.
Dark deeds to serve this fraud guru, this will cause a lot of repercussions on a person who has a con. And this also happened in Berkeley. The bouncer enforcer at the temple here became my friend. He agreed eventually that Hansaduta is a fraud. He told me I've done a lot of dark deeds for Hansaduta. And 1 year later, he ended his life. He couldn't live with himself, realizing he had done all these dark deeds for a fraud program. So I believe the parent of this child, who is now departed, had the same issues. He realized he had been serving Rameshwara. Rameshwara was a fraud. He was an enforcer for Rameshwara. And he told me he has done dark things for Rameshwara, being the enforcer. So this caught up with his conscience, and he felt bad, no question about it. So I believe, in other words, that people like Satsarup and Rameshwara and others are part of the whole process of putting the parents into this distressful situation, and then the children suffer as a result, as a byproduct of that process. So is Rameshwar 100% responsible? Well, no, but he is many percent responsible, over 50% responsible. I mean, the parents also have to use their own discrimination and realize, how can this Rameshwar guy be a pure devotee? How can Satsrup be a pure devotee? They should have that discrimination themselves. But if they do
Okay,
get caught up,
so um, this guy who's talking, the guy who's doing the talking, he knows all the horrible stuff, and he's even explaining. Look, the girl's father was he ended his life, all the stress of so many things going on, and the gurus, this guru, that guru bad, this guru bad, and bringing the father and the parents into the nonsense, and then the kids are brought into the nonsense. But this guy doesn't see the problem. He doesn't see. He can name every bad thing that's going on in this cult, but what's the problem? Why is he still in the cult? He's still in the cult. He's still in the cult. He doesn't want to leave the cult. He believes that he believes in all this stuff. He believes in all the woman-hating, racist. He believes in all that stuff. He believes women are less intelligent. Women like to be raped. He believes in the Pac-Man demon that eats the moon during the eclipse, and that's coming up. We're going to have an eclipse coming up, and that demon head is going to eat the moon. Okay, only partially though. Only partially eats it. So he believes all this stuff. He believes in the four-headed guy and the flute, and the sound goes out of the flute, goes into the head of the four-headed guy, into the ear of the four-headed guy that's growing on the flower, that's growing out of the navel of a four-armed guy who's laying on a snake, who's his brother, that's laying on an ocean of his own sweat. So he believes all of that stuff. And he believes all the racism, and the women are less intelligent and 9 times lustier, and women shouldn't go to school, and women should just be subservient to their men, and then you can marry a woman, but then if you want to just leave her, you can just leave her, but she can't get remarried. So you can marry a woman when she's like 13, and then when you're 25, and she's only 18, you can leave her and become a preacher, and then she's just stuck. That's totally okay with them. In fact, that's their plan. That's their ideal world. That's their Vedic culture that never existed that they want to create. They want to create a world that is like going back to like 800 BC or something. They want to create this world where everybody's living on a farm. Women don't go to school. Women just raise kids and whatever. And guys just work the farm and preach, and everybody's happy. That's the world that they want. If you go to any Hare Krishna commune anywhere, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to create this farm world where everybody's just growing food with an ox and a cow, and that's it. Go to any Hare Krishna center anywhere. Not in LA, but if you go to anywhere where they have like a commune out of the city, because in the city you can't do that. You can't have a farm. You just have a temple. You just have a building, and that's like your where you send people out. That's like your command post, and you just send people out to sell books from the temple. The temple is just a distribution house for books. That's all it is. And they send people out to sell books. Now, they have these farms, these communes, these farms, these Hare Krishna village. It'll be called Prabhupada Village, or New Raman Reddy, or New Taliban, or New Madhavan, or New whatever, New Vrindavan, New Mayapur, New this, New that, New Jagannath Puri, New wherever. and they'll have a farm, or they'll have like a commune, like in Florida they have it, Alacho, whatever. They have a, a community that's supposed to be based on this 5,000 year old Vedic culture where everybody's a farmer, everybody's I don't know, but go check it out if you don't believe me. That's what they do. They have them in Mississippi, in West Virginia, in upstate New York, in California, in Three Rivers, or in Sunny Valley, where all over. They're all over. Visalia, wherever they can get land, somebody gives them a house, they have them in England, in France. They have these farm communities, and that's what they want. That's what they want, the whole world like that. Now, of course, we look at that and go, "That's crazy," but the Taliban's crazy too. They want to turn the whole world into this Islamic state, and the Hare Krishnas want to do the same thing. I'm not joking, and I'm not exaggerating. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not exaggerating. So that's what's going on. Let's see if I get that back to this guy again, a little bit more of this guy.
Caught up in these false regimes, then the children suffer. And not only suffer, but they may have their lives terminated prematurely, as we have seen in different instances. Now, some of these children took their lives intentionally. One of them killed himself here in San Francisco, and he left behind a note saying he has no position in his own religion. So he was very distraught. And another child took his life in Los Angeles when he saw that the person who had victimized him was being given a glorious reception at the Los Angeles temple, and he told a friend of mine, just see, they promised that this person would not have a position of authority, and once again he's being worshipped, and he just went home and took his life after that. And that has happened in a number of cases where the children see the people who abused them or who orchestrated the system that abused them.
Okay, so here's this Hare Krishna guy. He's admitting many children have committed suicide. That they watched the people that abused them being given this great reception, like there's some god, with their feet being washed and flowers thrown at them, and a whole big party thrown for them, and food and all these things. And these guys are pedophiles and abusers. They're horrible people, and this cult is worshiping them like they just descended from heaven. And these grown children are like, that's the guy that friggin' bent me over the bench in school, and you guys are worshiping him like he's like, what the hell is going on? He goes home and kills himself. I think he's talking about the guy the young man that I went to his funeral. I think he's talking about the same, because I only know of one in L.A. that shot himself, and that's the boy. That's the boy whose funeral I went to in Brentwood. I went to his funeral. And so now, just a few days ago, another girl has passed away. I don't know how, why. I don't know who she is. They won't release any information. They want the information released, but this cult guy doesn't want to release it out of respect for the family. But the family wants it released. So you can he wants to tell the story, but he doesn't want to tell the whole story. He doesn't want to give out the information of who it was, why, how. But he does want you to know that it happened. And this is only the one that we know about, because they came out and said, "Hey, you got to tell people." They don't want people to know about this. When these grown kids, these are not children. These These are grown adults who grew up and were abused as children and abused as adults because they're not getting any treatment or help or anything. It's destroying their lives. It destroyed this woman's father, destroyed his life because he ended up taking his life. The mother's a drug addict and is off doing whatever. And now the daughter has either committed suicide or overdosed. So it's like this whole family has been just devastated by this cult, and they don't even see it. They can't see it. They think it's people outside coming into the cult. People come into the cult like brand new. They don't know anything, and then they get indoctrinated into this craziness. All these crazy ideas, these crazy stories, these crazy views, this crazy philosophy, and they go nuts. They go nuts. They go absolutely insane. That's what I'm trying to say. If you're in it long enough, you'll go insane. You'll go crazy. You'll either start killing people, or you'll kill yourself, or you won't care that people are dying. What the hell is going on? I'm not even gonna play anymore. I'll do another one when I get back. When I get back to my studio, and I have all my gadgets and everything. But I just wanted to put this out there so that people can know what's going on. This just happened a couple days ago. The date on this is September 3rd, and today is September 8th. And I didn't see this for a couple days because I was busy. I was traveling. But as soon as I saw this, I said, hey, I got to get this out there. So I'm letting everyone know. My condolences to the family and to the friends and family of this person. And these cults have nothing good. These cults have nothing good to offer. You want to learn about Indian culture or Indian Hindu anything? You can. You absolutely can, and it's a lot of fun, and there's a lot of neat stuff in it, and there's a lot of cool stuff. But you don't have to join a cult. You don't have to join a cult. You don't have to believe in weird stories and wacky stuff. You don't have to join a dangerous cult. So that's my message for today. Thanks for watching, everybody. I want to thank you. Like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day. Have a great morning, afternoon. Have a great time, and have some great luck. And don't join a cult.